A task force of the Bangladesh government, meanwhile, has 17 foreign non-governmental organizations under surveillance for terror financing in the country. Officials say that most of these organizations are Middle Eastern and under control of the Jamaat-e-Islam political party. WION's Bangladesh Bureau Chief Saad Hamadi files this report. Take a look.
Revival of Islamic Heritage Society, Rabit al-Alam al-Islami, Society of Social Reforms, Qatar Charitable Society, Muslim Aid Bangladesh. The names sound innocuous enough. But these are some of the 17 local and international NGOs that are under watch of Bangladeshi authorities. A task force set up by the Bangladesh government comprising of intelligence agencies and regulators to investigate these groups found that they had conducted unusual transactions since at least 2013.
They looked into our papers, our finance, our work, our reports and everywhere, and they didn't find anything wrong. And you know that I mentioned that more than 25 years Muslim Aid is working here. If any single complaint or allegation comes against us, so why government allowing us to continue here?
The task force, however, has not shared any details or reasons for their apprehension.
When one or more agencies or institutions are identified as potential source or potential risk factors, then it is incumbent on the authority to quickly or as soon as possible generate, collect and provide the information to the public and to the relevant organizations. So I think there is a lack of that, either for the lack of information or for the lack of capacity or deficit of capacity, or in some cases shortage of or deficit of skills to generate those information. So it's a combination of many factors which leads to a speculation sometimes that the agencies are taking the easiest route of looking at the profile of the individual or profile of the organization and then coming into a conclusion, which is not a good policy.
The NGOs in the list are mostly headquartered in Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain and other Middle Eastern countries. Authorities said terrorist financing in Bangladesh is largely facilitated through mobile banking and courier services. Indian authorities too are watching the developments in Bangladesh and have kept financial networks of terror groups operating in India on their radars.
We have not received any communication like that, but at the same time, since the situation here in Assam is very sensitive, as you are quite aware of, because of the population pattern in Assam and advent of some pan-India groups operating in Assam like PFI and MIM, etc. So we have given instructions to the SPs to keep an watch on these organizations, these NGOs, and in fact we have obtained the details of those NGOs also, and we are trying to sensitize our police regarding that, and hopefully if there is anything like that we will be able to track it down.
It is no surprise that global jihadist movements have thrived on radical ideologies, but also on funds provided by willing organizations. Some of these NGOs have put in thousands of dollars in the development projects of Bangladesh government. Despite suspicion and surveillance for nearly 4 years, many of these NGOs have been operating in Bangladesh without any trouble. In Dhaka, Saad Hamadi, WION.
Let's go straight across now to Saad Hamadi, who is joining us live on the broadcast. For more on this, Saad, good evening. I want to ask you this first up. The fact that 17 organizations are on that list under scrutiny for terror financing, has the task force ascribed any reasons to back its suspicion?
That is exactly where a lot of the dilemma lies. The 17 NGOs that have come under the radar of the government have been more or less involved and have been operating for a long time. And the surveillance that they have put is not just a recent issue. They have been watching them operating in the country for at least 4 years, since 2013, when they have raised their suspicion on these NGOs operating in the country and suspected them to be financing terrorist outfits. Now, 4 years is a long time already for the intelligence agencies to investigate and create evidence and substance to take actions against these NGOs. That has not been done. Also, when I've inquired with the intelligence agencies operating in the country, they have not provided any reason or detail behind their suspicion or the surveillance they have initiated, beyond saying that they're looking into their actions and also their financial transactions. Now that creates a lot of the dilemma about how these NGOs are financing terrorism in the country. My conversation with the Muslim Aid Bangladesh country director, for instance, has also raised the same question about their operation. If the government has a problem where these NGOs are already financing huge development projects with the government being a partner, it raises question about their credibility in the country as well, and why they're not being shut down.
Could this then be a mere case of witch hunt, Saad, as these organizations are claiming it to be?
Well, some organizations do point out if the government has a baggage or if it is mere pressure tactic, because many of these organizations, like the government has put out, the taskforce has put out, that are affiliated with the Jamaat-e-Islami, which is a key opponent of the Bangladesh government right now, the ruling party Awami League. Jamaat-e-Islami is a right-wing political party who has been accused previously for financing terrorist outfits, but there has not been any substantive effort being put to really crack down on the terrorist activities beyond, of course, finding their collaboration in the 1971 war between Bangladesh and Pakistan.
So 17 organizations as of now, Saad, have there been any indications to suggest that the number could increase over the next few months as far as the scrutiny is concerned?
There hasn't been such a detail provided as of yet, but clearly the mobile banking and courier services are some of the transaction systems that go outside the formal banking system, and there is that possibility of financing terrorism after these funds that these international NGOs have been referred to are probably channeling out through other means through informal networks. Now, these 17 NGOs might not be the only NGOs. There could be other NGOs coming too, but that has not been an issue as of yet. For now, the concern remains whether these 17 NGOs are found to be guilty in terms of financing the terrorist outfits in the country.
As we let you go, Saad, just a quick final remark on, apart from the fact that these are NGOs, any other common thread that seems to run through the background of these organizations?
For now, the NGOs that have been named are Middle Eastern, which is a particular profile that has been put out that they are affiliated with the Jamaat-e-Islami, comes from the Middle Eastern background. Now, profiling is something that some of the civil society members have said that is the easiest way of accusing organizations. They need to be investigated, scrutinized as to how they are getting their funds, in what kind of projects they're investing, and if there are other forms of transactions they're carrying out through informal networks. Just today, the Ansarullah Bangla team's operative has been arrested in Uttar Pradesh, and that gives a key note to both Indian authorities and Bangladeshi authorities that there are cross-border crimes taking place and terrorist activities taking place. And of course, financing is a key factor, financing and source of weapons that are coming and being exchanged between India and Bangladesh as well. So how these organizations operate, whether they operate in both the countries through similar means, and will also have to be looked into.
Saad, Hamadi, appreciate those details coming in. Keep tracking those developments. We're going to leave it there for that moment. With that, it's also a wrap on this edition, but do follow us on all our social media platforms for the very latest. Thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned.